Hey everyone, my name is Gavin, and this will be a video on how to make a small game that'll have all these features inside of it. We're going to have a camera that's going to be parented to our player. We're going to have enemies that track to the player if they're close enough to the player. And they're going to use a navigation mesh to track to the player. There's going to be a simple game objective, and this one will be finding a key. And then we're going to have player health, and the player health will make the game restart if the health reaches 0. And I'm just going to get started. So start off, double click the A button until everything is selected, and hit X and delete, and hit 7 to go on the top view, and do spacebar and then add a plane. With this plane selected, let's hit S and 20 like this to scale it up 20 times. And I'm going to add a new material to our plane. Well, first I'm going to rename it as map. So it's our game map like this. Hit the materials tab, hit new. I'll call this material green, and this will be the background material. And it's green like this. Hit the plus sign again. This material will be called red, and this will be the wall. So we're going to have red like this. And you notice it doesn't turn any part of the map red. So let's go into edit mode with our map selected. Hit click face select mode. And do W subdivide, W subdivide, W subdivide, W subdivide. I might actually do one more time. And hit B as in boy and drag over one corner of the map. And do the same with the others. So B as in boy, B as in boy, B as in boy, and B as in boy. Alright, so you just want to make your map look something like this. So the player has to kind of track around to do some stuff. Okay. I might actually make the spot where we're going to have the key be in this corner right here. Then I'll have a section like this. Alright, now that we've got this, let's, with the red material selected right here, hit assign, and you notice that the wall colors are now red. So let's hit E and drag this part of the map up, and hit 7 to go on the top view, and go into object mode, and you see our map looks like this. Alright, let's now go from defaults to game logic and go from Blender render to Blender game. And on this map right here, what we're going to do is with our map right clicked, click on this icon right here, and where it says navigation mesh, put build navigation mesh if you have your map selected. And you'll see you have your navigation mesh show up, and that's how it works. Okay, let's now actually create the enemy object first by doing spacebar and then add cube. And this cube, I'll actually apply a new material to it. There's a couple things we're going to need to do first. This new cube will be, well, first off, we'll name it as enemy. We're going to have this selected right here, so let's change this. The physics type will be character with actor selected. And the material that we're going to have is going to be red. So actually, I'll just put red right that. So we've now got our enemy object like this. But what we want this to do is actually track to another object in the game. So what I'm going to do is let's just make our player object really quick. We're doing spacebar and then add a cube. This cube we're going to drag over to this corner over here. The material for our cube will be called blue, and our player will be blue. So just like that. For the physics tab, let's change it from static to character and click actor. And I'll rename this cube as player. Alright. What we now want to do is right click on this cube right here, our enemy object. Add an always sensor. And let's add a steering actuator. Change it from seek to path following. The target object will be player, and it will be using the navigation mesh that we created. I'll click end the visualize. We're going to use the positive y-axis, and we're going to hit visualize right here and connect that to your always sensor like this. So we should see the cube is going to track around like this regardless of where we put it. Okay, I might change the velocity up to be something like 10 just to see some more, speed going on there. There you go. Alright. Now that we have that, what we're going to do is make it so our player can move around by adding 4 keyboard sensors. I'll call this one forward, W, backward will be S, left will be A, and right will be D. Alright, so forward, back, left, right. Let's create a couple of actuators that'll work for that. 4 motion actuators. 3, 4. This first one will be called forward. We're going to have this be 0.2. This next one will be backward. We'll have this one be negative 0.2. We'll then have left. This will be negative 0.2 on the x-axis. That is an action actuator. Oh, this one will be right, and this one will be 0.2. Alright, once we have those all labeled, let's connect these like this. Connect them. And once all 4 are connected, I'll just minimize these really quick. We should see we can move our player around like this. And they're slightly faster than the enemy objects, but that's okay. Alright. Now that we have this, what we're going to do is make it so that the game will restart if you if the enemy collides with the player. So to start off, let's do file and save. I'll rename this to my desktop as just, let's say, Blender project. Like this. And you have to have it saved first. But what we're going to do is right click on our player and let's add a property player. And let's right click on the enemy. And for the enemy, what we're going to do is add a collision sensor. And we're going to have it so that if it's there's a collision with the property player, it's going to restart the game. We can do this without Python. That's kind of nice. We can add an actuator. Where's the game actuator? Right here. And for this game actuator, change it to restart game and connect it like this. And minimize this, and minimize this. So we should see, if I hit file and save, our game will restart. Whoops. The game will restart upon collision with the cube. Okay. I might have to edit the speed a little bit, the cube a little bit, because that's pretty fast, but alright, that works. So for the objective, or the key that we're going to make, I'm going to actually just make this key just right here. I'll do spacebar and then add a torus. This torus I'm going to drag up. I might actually zoom in a fair amount. And with our torus selected, do object snap and then cursor to selected. Do spacebar and then add a cube. You really shouldn't be doing this in your game view, but I'll just do it for this video. And let's turn this into a key. Hitting S and Z after scaling it down. S and X to scale it out. And you can make it into a key by, if we hit 7 to go into top view, I'll do Shift and D to copy it, R, Z, and 90 to rotate it 90 degrees on the Y-axis, or the Z-axis. Hit S and Y to scale it down. And let's just kind of make a crude key. It doesn't really look very good, but it'll work. There we go. There's our key. Hit Z to go into wireframe and right click, and then shift and right click on all components of the key, and hit Control and J to make them into one object. Hit Z to go out of wireframe. Let's call this new object key. And for this key object, let's add a material. And this material will be a shadeless yellow kind of thing. So our key should look like that. Very crude, but it'll work. Alright, I'll scale this key down just a little bit, and I'll add this key to this part of the map. Okay. To have our player actually collect the key, what we're going to do is add character physics or some type of physics similar to our key. And we're going to have it so that if the player collides with the key, so a collision sensor with player will delete this key. Alright. So it's going to delete the key if there's a collision with the player. So if we hit play, actually, I'll just move the enemy off the map really quick. Have it fall into oblivion. I just want to see if we can collect it. Nope. S and Z. Hold on, I'll just drag the player over. Oh wait, the player's in the floor. Yeah, sorry about that. The player was in the floor. So we should be able to see that we can collect the key if we take the player out of the floor. And we can't. Why is that? If a collision with the property player occurs, there is. I'll change this to a near sensor, just because I don't know why the collision isn't working. There's probably something I haven't toggled though. So if it's near the property player, I'll say within 3 and 3. Sorry about that. I don't really know what's happening right there. So if we're if we're within a distance of 3, it did delete. That's just kind of weird. All right, I'll actually change this to 5 for future reference. Okay, now that we have this, we're gonna have it so that collecting this key will delete a door that we're gonna put right here. I'll actually drag this cube onto our map again. And for this enemy, I'll change the speed up to, let's say, 6. Make it a little bit slower. Alright, let's add a door now by doing spacebar, then add a cube. This cube, I'll make the door, let's say, yellow, just like our key color. Yellow. Alright, and this door will be called, actually I'll make this door an actor really quick, but this door will be called door. And let's rotate it by hitting R and Z, and let's drag it down to be just in front of this section right here. And we're going to have it so that if we hit Z to go into wireframe, right click on your door and then shift and right click on your key. We want to have it, I'll drag this in, so that if we connect with our key, or if we pick up the key, it's going to open the door. So add an edit object actuator and end object actuator, and change the edit type to end object on your door. So what should happen is if we hit file and save, we should be able to see that we can pick up the key. I'll let this cube get closer. Oh, well. Something's up with this weird. Yeah, I'll drag this key over here. Sorry, I don't really know what's going on with this key. I'll have to spend more time looking into it. Alright, so we're going to wait for the object to get closer. Then if we can pick up the key, the door will delete. And we can just try and escape this cube. And we can have it so that behind this door we can have an edit object an objective counter that we can finish. So let's do spacebar and then add a cube like this. And this cube will be a turquoise cube. And it will restart the game if the player collides with it, implying that we finished the game. It'll be character, actor, and if it collides with the player, if there's a collision with the property player, it will restart the game. Okay, now we can get somewhere. Okay, game actuator, start game from file, restart game. Okay, now that we have this, let's hit file and save, and let's see what happens. We can wait for the cube to get close to us. We can bypass the cube. We can pick up the key. The door deletes. We can go by this cube right here, and we can connect with this cube, and the game will restart. Okay, now that we have that, what we're going to do is make the camera follow our player by doing object snap and then cursor to selected. With your player selected, and do spacebar and then add a camera. Add camera like this, and drag this up. Next, let's hit Z to go into wireframe, and with our camera selected, do Shift and right click on your player and do Control and P and parent it to that object. Now we've got our player like this. So if we go back in the texture mode, it looks like we can follow our player around like this. Then we can escape from the cube, pick up the key, avoid this cube, and then go to the end object objective. And the game will restart, and I'll hit File and Save. You can drag this camera out as far as you want. But yep, there you go. Alright, so I guess that's the end of this video. I hope you guys find this very useful. And I was able to do this without Python, so that's good as well. Sorry about those couple errors I got somehow through. I'm sure there's something wonky that I was doing that I wasn't paying attention to, so I'll look back and I'll try and fix that. Alright guys, thanks for watching.